So before you watch the main video on exercise 2A, I thought I would go over all different ways of defining what the modulus function is. So the modulus function will normally look like this: y equals, and those straight lines between which you put x, they represent modulus of x. So you read it: y equals modulus of x. So let's just think, what does modulus of a number, or modulus of, if that number is a, is going to be equal to? So first of all, this is notation. You could also call it as an absolute value of a. You could think of it as a positive value of a, positive numerical value of a. You could also think of it as magnitude, so the size of a. So how big that number is. So for example, the size of 5 is 5. The size of minus 5, so how big is the debt of £5, is still 5. Okay. You could also think of it as the distance to O on the x-axis, or the origin if it's x and y-axis. So if you think about that point here, that's being the origin. If you think about how far 5 is away from the origin, that distance here, it's 5 units. Now if you think about x equals minus 5, how far this is away from the origin, it's also 5. So you could think of that as modulus of minus 5 is equal to 5, but so is modulus of 5. Okay. Now the next one, another definition which might seem a little bit confusing, but I think it is common sense if you think about it very carefully. You could actually define modulus of a in two ways, depending whether a is negative or non-negative. So if a is non-negative, so that means greater or equal to 0, then, for example, 5 like before, or 6, or 1.5, then the modulus of a is going to be equal to a. Now, if a is not, so it's opposite to that, so it's negative, not positive or equal to 0, so it must be negative, then if you think about it, let's put it in curly, modulus of a, so if a, for example, is equal to minus 5, then modulus of a must be equal to opposite of that. So it's equal to minus a. So if a is minus 5, then minus a will be opposite of minus 5, which is 5. Okay, so that's to kind of make that negative number into positive. Okay. In terms of sketching, if you think about it, if you draw a table of a few values like I did on the PowerPoint, let's actually try and plot this graph. So we are talking about modulus of x. So we consider a few values: minus 3, minus 2, minus 1.5, minus 1, 0, 3, 4, etc. Okay, now modulus of negative 3, it's what's the size of that number? What's 3? It has to be 3. So all the negative numbers will turn into positive. 0 stays as 0, and 3 and 4 stay positive. So the answer to the modulus of x is always positive. If I try and plot these points, so if I go to minus 3 and plot it against against 3, it will be over here, then minus 2 against minus 2, then you will have minus 1.5 somewhere here, then you will have 0, 0, minus 1, sorry, so there, 3, 3, and then I've got 4, 4. Now, in fact, if I had x is equal to 1, that would go there, and you'll have that shape, the shape. So that is the graph of y equals modulus of x. So it always will be a V shape if it's a straight line and above the x-axis. So hopefully now you'll be ready to go on to video 2, part 2.